right, so now being Monday, February 12th, I'll call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. That is 5:45, our start time. So we do have an executive session, but I think we're holding that until the end. So we can just jump right into business. Do we want to take the chief if he's here, or do you want to take everything else?
He's going to be an executive, so...
All right, so we'll just handle everything else, do the chief, and then go into executive
Sure.
session? Okay, perfect. Okay, so first item on the agenda is LB Salvage and Angels Auto Inc. Class 3 and scrap license transaction. So this was where Angels was going to buy those two licenses?
Correct. So Albies is selling the business for the Class 3 and the scrap to Angels. The owner of Angels has been managing the business for Albies since they moved to that location. And Albies is going to keep their current Class 2 as it stands. And all of the insurance and applications have been received along with the purchase and sale. So all the paperwork is in order.
Okay.
It's just looking for a vote of acknowledgement and to approve the change of licenses and the transfer.
Okay, all right. So John, we're talking about Albies
Yes.
selling the Class 3 and scrap license to Angels, who's been managing these two licenses for Albies since they moved into the spot. So Albies wants to keep the Class 2. Looks like according to Liz, all the documentation, the insurance and application have been received, along with the purchase and sales, so they just need a vote from us to,
So just one question. Mr. Larson is keeping the
Class 2.
Class
Class
2.
2.
Which is the
And
dealer's
Angel
one.
is
Angels is buying the Class 3 and
Which
the
is the-
scrap.
the scrap and the
business.
junk. Okay, so it's only the dealership that Larson is he keeping
Yep.
the,
He's only keeping the Class 2.
which is the dealership?
Yeah.
Right, that lets him to buy and sell used cars.
Who owns the land and building? Is that still Larson?
I believe it's still Larson.
Okay,
From
okay,
Aldi's.
I'm all right then.
So will he continue to own it, or is he selling that?
He's just selling the business.
Okay, selling the
with
business,
the licenses.
but he's gonna keep the
Correct.
ownership of the
Keep the
property.
property and the Class 2 license going
Gotcha.
there for him.
Gotcha, okay, all right.
So Angels Auto Inc. already has a dealer's license,
Right.
just so,
So they don't need another one,
Right.
right,
Right.
okay.
So the cars that will be displayed out there will be under Mr. Larson's?
I don't think he has
He doesn't
the
have
ability to
them.
display cars
It was
in
the
his
buying and
license.
selling.
So the cars that are for sale out there, will that be Angels?
Those
That'll
are
be
angels.
Under his own,
Correct,
Right.
under his
License.
license, once you approve the
Okay.
transfers.
okay, as long as we know who to go to.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so are you okay with this?
Yep.
All right, how about you, Mark, you okay too? Okay, all right, so you just need a vote for us to authorize or to?
I would approve the transfer of those licenses.
Okay, all right, so I'll make a motion that we approve the transfer of Albies Salvage, with the Class 3 and the scrap license to Angels Auto Incorporated.
actually, it's Angels Auto Parts Inc.
Angels Auto Parts, Inc. Okay, friendly amendment to, that Albies Salvage, Class 3 and scrap license, transfers to Angels Auto Parts, Inc.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right, next item on the agenda is Mass DOT letter to property owners regarding the Winnetoxet Bridge project. And Liz sent this around, the whole packet
I
to
think
all of
I
us.
missed it.
There's the proposed letter, and this is the guide
Okay.
about the transfer of
So
property.
the letter was drafted by Jonathan Eichman, and it's a required part of the process because we're getting federal aid for the replacement of the bridge. It's not going to make any notable changes to the property. The two little dots that are highlighted here, and I can pass this around, basically there are two existing utility poles, and the state just needs to, it's essentially a permanent easement, but because it's permanent, they just they have to take the land by law, so that they can access the 2 poles, but it's not making any changes to the people's property.
That's the only thing that's happening because of this?
Yes, these 2 little highlighted areas.
Okay.
Are they aware at this point, or inkling that this is coming?
They are not aware at this point. So part of the process involves, like, Rob's gonna have to go to them and like have almost like an interview. You can also see if people are willing to donate, but in the case when there are mortgage holders on the property, it's like slim that you're gonna get a mortgage company to sign off.
Right, yeah.
This is,
And people usually wanna be paid for it anyway, so they will be compensated, even though it's not
this
really
is Polly's,
making a change.
Matheson's land, is that what we're talking about?
It's One Pope's Farm,
Oh, One Pope's Farm, okay.
correct.
Okay, I know where that is. I think. He's still
Well, it's
there.
got the name of the property owner on there, and also on the letter, it's the Johnstons. Does that sound familiar?
It does.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
And I can have Rob reach
Nope.
out, if you may know them, it might help to
He
make a
wouldn't remember
connection.
me, it's so long ago.
Okay, all right.
That's when I
Alright.
worked at the wine store in Carver.
Oh, okay.
He used to come in all the time, but I was a clerk, so.
So do you need us just to approve this, or
I would
just?
vote to approve sending the letter, and then I have a clean copy here that you could sign tonight.
Right. Okay, I'll make a motion that we send the Mass DOT letter to the Johnstons as part of the process to acquisition the property where the, what'd you say, utility poles are?
Yes.
Utility poles are.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item on the agenda, well, we'll skip over this. So annual and special town meeting preparations, if any?
We don't have any to
Okay.
discuss.
Bree, how about warrants paid?
Excuse me, $13,319.66.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Liz, very much.
Thanks.
Okay, so we got the warrants paid, nothing with a special town meeting. Do you have any updates for us, Liz?
We've just been busy with the budget process and everything, that's been the main thing. I do have quite a few things for correspondence, just to run
Okay.
through. And I sent it to you ahead of time, so we have, just find it here. So the town clerk is looking for a vote to acknowledge receipt of the local election information, which you've been sent all of this in advance. The officer positions that will be open on the ballot for May 18th, and the presidential primary info. And then being added to that vote is also acknowledgement and approval of police details during the elections. And those dates are for the presidential primary, which, here, March 5th, 2024, May 18th, 2024 for the local town election, state primary election, September 3rd, 2024, and state presidential election, November 5th, 2024. So your vote would encompass acknowledgement and approval of all of the aforementioned items. And if anybody has interest in looking at the elections calendar or any of that, it's available at the town clerk's office.
Okay, all right, any questions or concerns about these, any of these documents? All right, I'll make a motion that we acknowledge and approve the election, the local and presidential primary and elections information, as well as the police detail information regarding March 5th, May 18th, September 3rd, and November 5th for police details. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Then we also received correspondence from the nationwide opioid settlement, and I'm gonna get some clarification from council, because I don't know if it requires any action from us or not. And then we have a request to use town property. This is filed by Mike Slauson with the library, and this is for the main meeting room here on February 20th from 3 to 4:15 p.m., and they are doing a musical theater boot camp.
Wow.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a vote to allow that.
You have any questions or concerns about that?
No.
Okay.
No concerns.
All right, I'll make a motion that we authorize Mike Slauson from the library to use the Deborah Sampson Room, February 20th, from 3 to 4:15 for a musical theater boot camp.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that's pending the
All the
other-
necessary
Right.
sign-offs, which I wouldn't think there'd be many, being
No.
that it's here and.
No, it's here, so.
And today is
12.
2/12.
My wife's birthday.
Thank you. Oh, is it? It's John's birthday too.
Oh,
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
John.
happy
John.
birthday, John.
And happy birthday to Brenda.
Yes, happy
I'll let her
birthday,
know.
Brenda.
Yeah, please
Birthday
tell her we
all
said happy
around.
birthday.
Can we vote it?
Do you want a proclamation?
Yeah.
There you go.
See if we get a unanimous vote.
You should abstain.
Yeah, you should abstain. Do you have anything else for us, Liz? Okay, all right, we're gonna hold the minutes until our next meeting on 2/26. Now we're on to, we can do our raves, and then we'll have the chief talk to us about the clinician role, and we'll wrap things up and go into executive session. So, do you have any raves?
I'm thinking.
Okay, do you have any raves?
My rave was going to be about the community clinician, but we haven't been informed yet about it. But I have a feeling this is a cool thing in terms of support at the time of a problem and thwarting more substantial problems later on. So to the degree that it's sort of preventative medicine, which of course is the best medicine, that's my rave.
Very nice. My rave would be an article that was in the Halifax Express recognizing the two young men that I think helped save their family with the fire, and the chief's dog was there, the support dog as well. So just what a great story, and a fantastic outcome. So very, very nice to hear that.
So I'm gonna have to pass this time, I think.
Okay, does that mean you're gonna have 4 for the next one?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
All right, because I know you like to, you always have 2, at least. Okay, we'll write it down.
I will have 4.
All right. All right, Chief, we have completed our regular business, so or not completed, because we need to talk to you. So you're up for the update.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time, Mark. You put a lot of pressure on me, so hopefully I deliver. So we've been working for about a year or so trying to get the clinician program off the ground, and I give a lot of credit to Carver Police Department. They're the actual, they're the holders of this grant, and we're the beneficiary of it, obviously. So the grant encompasses us, Carver, Halifax, Hanson, and parent company is HHS, Human Health Services, and the sister company that we're utilizing this clinician, she's from CFS, Child and Family Services. So essentially what the program is we have a clinician that's allocated to all 4 of these departments who rotates through between the departments every single day. So one day she'll be in Plympton, one day she'll be in Halifax, Hanson, Carver, and she is really there to help mitigate all the things that we kind of see on the streets now and what we're dealing with. Kind of to what Mark alluded to, is there's a lot of mental awareness that's coming out now, and it's a big push. A lot of departments prior to us getting this have been really looking at mental wellness and helping to mitigate what we do on the job. So with that being said, her ability to go out there and diffuse a situation, speak with parties that are involved, whether it be a domestic incident, temporary psychosis, if she has to issue a Section 12, which is an involuntary submittal down to the hospital to get somebody evaluated properly. So she's kind of there on the threshold, in the forefront for us to kind of take that onus off of us as a police department and be the help proxy to kind of help guide us in that decision, make sure we're doing the right thing. And it's been a great program so far. We're only about 2 months or so into it, but it's been pretty impactful that we've seen. And just the fact that we have somebody else in-house that we can even speak when it's non-emergency hours, or even when she is working with us, we can call, we have an outlet to speak with about just certain situations that she's maybe dealt with from other departments too. So it's really good, it's really collaborative, so we love it. It's worked out well. Right now, it's a 3-year contract, and however you look at it, good news, bad news, is that the state is really on a push to keep this project going and keep this initiative going. So I don't see it ending in 3 years, quite honestly, quite opposite. We keep talking to HHS is that this is gonna be, probably for the long haul. So that's what we're contracted with her, is for 3 years. And, yeah, we'll see, we'll be broaching that again for negotiation a couple years out here, so it's good. Yeah, she's been a huge help for us on a lot of different calls. So any questions you guys have, feel free to shoot them my way.
Is she involved with the fire department too?
No, but what I've realized with Kaylee, she's willing to jump in no matter what it is. So we've had a couple off different calls that maybe not have been the scope of her work, but she's been more than willing to help out or reach out to other departments, reach out to elderly services, and like things that maybe a little bit are fringely on her, outside of her purview, so to speak. She's happy to do it, but nothing that she's really got involved with the fire department at this point for us. And unfortunately, I can't say if she's done it with the other departments at this point.
Maybe you should initiate a conversation with Chief
Yep.
and, just see. Seems to me that you departments are so integrated at times that there
Right.
may be an opportunity, and we
Right.
just don't recognize it.
Right. I just don't know of any specific calls. So I know that she's had conversations just in regards to what her program is. I've sent that language over to Chief Duddy and as well as Captain Shosted. So they kind of know what the program that we're running, but again, if there's been a collaboration on a call yet, I just unfortunately don't know.
Is this something that you're going to make the public aware of, or is this something that kind of stays below public knowledge and just whenever there's a problem in it?
No, I think we've had just like a very kind of vanilla post that's kind of been put out. It's not something that I would really be afraid to put out there per se, like really in depth as to what it is, because people shouldn't be afraid of it. It's really there as good support for any member of this community. And again, we see people on some of their worst days, and to kind of bridge the gap that this department that we currently have is very engaged in who our members of the community are. So it's a good add-on. So people shouldn't be afraid if we want to have somebody come speak with them. But again, I can't be I don't know how everyone's thought process is with that either too, but I'd like to think that they'd be welcoming if we wanted, hey, would you like to speak with somebody? We want to get you the right help. We want to have, maybe some further conversation about it.
I'm thinking maybe one little higher level in terms of we have this person with these skills, and if you or your family or your broader friends,
Right.
that it's available.
Right, I think based on one, again, a post that we put out there, I'll give you an example, is the elderly service. We have a recurring house that we're constantly visiting, and we're trying to help that process along for the children that are involved because of dementia, Alzheimer's, and things like that. So where they saw our post out, it was a good opportunity for them to reach out and say, what can I do? Now again, maybe not in her purview or scope of what she currently does. She took the ball and ran with it. She called elderly services, she contacted the family, has had regular meetings and follow-ups with them. So just on that post we put out there, again, that welcomed one member of the community to come in and say, this is what's going on in my family, can you guys help us?
Yeah.
So again, that's a huge impact. That's one win, and I'll take that all day long. Are there other wins that we can get out there? Sure. Can we continue to educate the community and say that this program's there? Without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think sometimes we think of us as such a small community that we don't have some of the services that maybe the larger towns offer.
Right.
But that's not true.
Right.
These regional associations like you have here,
Sure.
we have, the opportunity to reach out and really bring top people in to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just for example, it's going off on a tangent, but we've had like the Council on Aging events and the Triad events. Now that we're integrated with the Plympton County Comfort Dog program through Aggie, how many events that we've now hosted or brought people in from other communities that we've had multiple departments, multiple officers coming in and helping support us now in Plympton. So now you have Carver, the Halifaxes, the Kingstons, the Plympton County Sheriff's Departments bringing their comfort dogs over
Yeah.
to help be a part of the program. So it's very collaborative. What you're seeing in law enforcement across the board, they're really trying to it's not so micro anymore, it's a little bit getting bigger, more macro. People are kind of coming together as teams and units, and
Makes
it's really, really
sense.
interesting, yeah, it's good, it's good.
Is there grant money available for this? How is this being
So this is
paid?
actually, yeah, this is all funded through HHS, so they're the ones that are,
So we're not on the hook right now.
that's it, no, and I give a lot of credit to Carver Police, is that they really stuck with this program, because we were going back and forth with it and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together for everyone's policies, to make sure it fits the bill for everyone. So it was a very long process for us to get here.
Yeah.
And again, thankfully, this grant right now is a 3-year grant, and hopefully, Human Health is going to continue this on, from there on out.
I think my take would be reach out to the fire. I think there's an opportunity. I don't know how to articulate it, but,
Yeah, sure.
if you two are talking, you and the chief,
Right.
you'll come up with something.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Again, I just don't know of instances of where,
Yeah.
what calls they've collaborated on yet, other than they know that we have somebody there that now can
Yeah.
help take a little bit of onus off the fire department as well of doing a section.
And they may be your early warning system, and, they may be in some place first where they recognize we need to be talking to you about
Right,
this.
right, yeah. So no,
Yeah.
it's worked out well. We're really happy for you. She's a great fit. Hopefully we'll see this thing through
Good.
for years out.
What's her name?
Kaylee Moran, M-O-R-A-N.
Well, it sounds really good to me. I like the fact that it's both proactive, but it's also there situational in the event that you needed somebody.
Yeah.
If something came up in this town and she wasn't working in here, could you call her and get her if we had an emergency?
So we have an agreement in some of the MOUs, is that if there's something that's pressing with our community, and say that she's over in Hanson for the day, then we're gonna collaborate, figure out a means to be able to get her from Hanson, whether it be one of my officers, myself, or a lieutenant who's on shift, to go meet with her, bring her over to the event that we're having here, and vice versa. We've actually had to do that already, bring her to another community, I think it's Carver.
That sounds great.
So, yeah, so we have that basically in our policies to do that, so.
Excellent. Anything do you want to share of it?
Great program, excited we're doing it. It's kind of a model for a lot of other collaboration. Well done.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's terrific. It is. Much needed.
So that
Both
was
here
Mark's
and
rave, and I'm
everywhere.
going to support Mark's rave.
Okay, all right.
I'll second.
All right, all right. So you're down to 3 now, right?
Yeah, you're down to
And I want
3.
one.
All
The night is
right.
young.
All right, the night is young. All right, so that completes our business in open session. So I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for purpose 2, and that's to conduct strategy sessions in preparations for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. And our discussions tonight will be regarding contract negotiations with the police union. And upon completion of executive session, that we will adjourn, that the meeting will be over.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll, well, do we need to do still roll call? We do, roll
I
call
think to
vote.
go into
All right,
it,
roll
yeah.
call vote, Mr. Trainer?
Yes.
Mr. Russo?
Yes.
And Mrs. Joy, yes. Okay, so we'll go into executive session.